This is Wizard Grandpa's Stories.
Oh, hello. How nice to see you. Welcome to Wizard Grandpa's Stories. Now today, I'm going to tell you the story of Rapunzel. Now, once upon a time, there was a man and a woman who lived next door to an enchantress. And she had a beautiful garden full of herbs and flowers, bushes and trees. And the woman looked out onto that garden and said to her husband, "Husband, I would really like to eat some of that beautiful rampion growing in the enchantress's garden. If I don't eat some rampion, I fear I will die." So her husband climbed down into the enchantress's garden, picked some rampion leaves, brought them back up, and his wife ate them in a salad. Oh, they were delicious. And she said to her husband, Oh, that was so delicious. I want them 10 times more. Please go and get me some." That evening, he crept once more into the enchantress's garden, but this time, the enchantress was waiting for him. "What are you doing in my garden? And why are you stealing my leaves?" "Oh, I'm sorry, but my wife, she really wants to eat some of your beautiful rampion. She says she will die if she doesn't eat them." The enchantress thought for a moment. "Very well. You may take as much as you like, as often as you like. But when your baby is born, I will take her, and that is the price." Well, the man was terrified of the enchantress and was forced to agree. So he took as much rampion as he could carry, and his wife carried on eating it happily until the baby was born. And then the enchantress came round to their house, pushed open the door, and took their baby away. The child grew up to be very beautiful, and the enchantress called her Rapunzel. And she locked her high in a tower with no door. One day, a prince was riding through a wood, and he heard a beautiful voice. He heard the sound of a girl singing like an angel, and he followed that voice, came to a high tower. At the top of that tower was a single window, and out of that window came the sound of beautiful singing. Well, he'd never heard anything like it, and listened until it stopped. The next day, he came back again and listened to that singing. And the next day he came earlier and saw something amazing. He saw an old woman who looked to him like a witch. And she stood at the bottom of the tower, and she called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, that I may climb your golden stair." And a long golden rope flew out of the window and fell all the way down to the ground. And the witch climbed up it, up, and disappeared into the window. Well, the prince was amazed. What was going on? He came back the next day at the same time, and sure enough, the witch came to the bottom of the tower and called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your long hair, that I may climb your golden stair." And the long golden rope flew out of the window and all the way down to the ground. And this time, the prince saw a beautiful girl at the window. And he could see that the long golden rope was her hair, and she tied it round a nail in the wall, and the witch climbed up. The next day, the prince came earlier. He came much earlier than the witch normally came, and he stood at the bottom of the tower, and he called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your long hair, that I may climb your golden stair." And the long golden rope of hair flew out of the window and fell down to the ground. And he climbed up it and climbed up it and climbed up it until he climbed inside the window and saw the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. It was Rapunzel. And they fell in love straight away. She was so happy to see such a handsome young man. And every day for many weeks he came early in the day, and they spent the time together, chatting and talking. And one day she said to him, "When you come, bring with you some silk. Each time a little bit of silk, and then more and more, and out of it I will make a ladder, so that I too can climb down from here, and we can go away together." So the prince agreed, and each time he came, he brought some silk, and she began to weave a ladder. But then one day, when the witch was visiting Rapunzel, Rapunzel said to her, "Tell me something. How is it that you weigh so much, and the prince weighs so little?" Well then, the witch knew Rapunzel had been having a visitor, and she was furious. She cut off Rapunzel's hair, tied it to the nail, and forced Rapunzel to climb down. The witch climbed down after her and took her away through the forest all the way to a desert and left her there. She then came back, climbed up the golden rope of hair once more, and pulled it inside the tower. Then, when the prince came and called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your long hair, that I may climb your golden stair," the rope came down. The prince climbed, and when he came to the top, he saw not Rapunzel, but the witch inside. She pushed him, and he fell into a thorn bush and scratched his eyes so that he couldn't see. He wandered through the forest, trying to find his way home, eating berries wherever he could find them, and slowly, slowly he wandered into the desert, and there he came across Rapunzel. She knew him straight away, of course, and she held him, and she cried to see how his eyes were scratched. And her tears fell into his eyes and healed them. So at last they were together again. And he took Rapunzel back to his own kingdom, where they ruled as prince and princess for many, many years. And that is the story of Rapunzel. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and share with all your friends. Come again soon and hear another story. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.